I think, yes, we're live. Hi, welcome to my daily Facebook Live. This is a bit later in the day, but I want to do it outside where it's nice and it's also still light. And before I jump in, let me start with my name, introduction, so you know who I am. My name is Barry Selby. I am a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert, helping strong, successful women attract the best in love, life, and business. I'm also a passionate champion of the divine feminine. And welcome for coming in. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. This is Messages from the Masculine number 113. Yes, I've been going for a while on these daily broadcasts. And today's topic is something that just hit me as I was sitting with what I want to talk about today, because some of the topics are not exactly pre-planned, is why are you chasing a relationship? And I'm going to tell you what the best reason is, at least to me. It may not be for you, but it's to me. So, the question I'm throwing on the table is, why are you pursuing a relationship? There are probably, I would say 3, but there's probably about 10. So let me start with the ones I can think of that come to mind of the reasons why most people tend to pursue, chase, demand to be in a relationship. First of all, one of the biggest reasons people chase relationship is for security, to feel safe, which for some people is so counterintuitive, because for some of them being in a relationship is a highly challenging risk for them, that security and the risk are like crossed over. So I'll see if I want to go there. I'm just going to start throwing out some bullet points, and I may go and go back and explain again, possibly deeper. So one is security, as in safety, because for them perhaps being alone is actually uncomfortable, because maybe facing themselves on their own in the mirror in life feels challenging. So there's a safety in being in a relationship with somebody else. The funny thing is, on the other side of the coin, for some people, being in a relationship is actually challenging, and being on their own is safer. So it works both ways. I'm not saying it's the only reason, but it's one of the main reasons. Second reason somebody likes to be in a relationship is one of the obvious ones, which is sex. And when the sex goes away, so does the relationship, because it's not based on deeper values. And I'll get to that more in a moment, but just looking at some of the immediate check marks why people choose relationship. And some of these may be yours, maybe somebody else's, but I just want to put them on the table for you to think about. So, safety/security is the first one. Second one is sex, or pleasure, fulfillment type category. The third one, yes, this is the obvious one probably, is love. However, a lot of times the love that is being sought in relationship is based upon often a childhood need for acceptance. Yes, I did say that. That the idea of being in a relationship is a desire to be loved, to fulfill a childhood need for acceptance. Because for many of us, maybe you, maybe not, have had the experience of, or should say have had a childhood where you didn't get as much love as you wanted. You didn't feel the love that you really wanted to get. And so there's a distinct yearning that may be subconscious, but maybe not so subconscious, that is driving your desire to be in a relationship so you can feel, what's I'm looking for? Appreciated and accepted and loved. Because the reality is, for most people, their childhood needs are still driving their adult choices. So their love life, their relationship patterns, their relationship desire is actually driven by this massive feeling of desire to be accepted, to be appreciated, to be judged as better than nothing. For some of them, because on their own they feel like nothing. That's the way it is. So that's third. Fourth one, so let me go back and recap. So first one is security and safety. Second one is sex and pleasure. Third one is love and acceptance, sort of. Fourth one, and again, these are just ones that are popping in. I don't have a script or a bullet point list and go, this is number 17, number 18, it's none of that. I'm just throwing out the ones that come to mind. And for many people, when they choose a relationship, is because there's a desire to achieve a status in life that they think being in a relationship will provide. Yeah, think of that one for a second. And the reality is that for many people, there is a status that comes with that. It's like, I'm now in a relationship, especially if you have this thing where if you've got Jewish parents, maybe Italian parents, there's the desire to satisfy them by getting married, which sure that none of you have ever dealt with that one. But for many people, they've actually been through their first marriage and divorce because they did that path to please or appease parents. or relatives or those in their peer group even where they felt left out. For example, I know in one situation where somebody got married because all of their friends were married and it felt left out being single. They were the fifth wheel. And so they almost got married to fix that versus to choose true love. Okay, true love is hinting at where I'm going to go. So I'm going to get there in a second, so bear with me. I'm still downloading, come up with, remembering some of the reasons people choose to get married, that choose to get in a relationship that may not be the highest value choice. And I'm hinting at where I'm going, so you may notice the little subtle hints I'm throwing out there. So another one that people choose to be in a relationship for is, they come up out of the blue. Okay, just so you bear with me. Some of these come out of the blue. Sometimes people choose to be in a relationship out of revenge against an ex. It came up and I'm like, is that real? It's like, it is. I know people who, I call it rebound relationship. A lot of times I've seen people get into relationships so they can actually thumb their nose at their ex-partner going, you're never going to have this again. You're going to, you're out of the picture. I've got somebody else to replace you. And it's a really, it's a very dysfunctional thing to do, to be honest. But it's what people do. Again, choices people make to be in a relationship that aren't the highest choice. So some people pursue relationship, chase relationship, because being alone, especially if they've gone through a breakup, or rather if their partner broke up with them, actually could be either way, to be honest. Yeah, either way. That when they get in the breakup, their first thing is to get into another relationship so they don't have to be alone and don't have to feel like they're being judged by the other person, when in fact they're judging themselves as being less than. Mistaken approach. What else have I got? Let's see what else I've got. There's a few other ones up there, I'm sure. Another reason why people chase relationship, which may be yours, maybe not. Okay, that one came up. To look good in the eyes of other people. As in, if you're going for a certain job, perhaps, and this is probably more like in the 50s and 60s, not so much nowadays, but it used to be very evident, that when you were going for a job, being in a relationship, or better yet, being married, presented you as a better status, that you were more stable and you were more reliable, which if you were single may not be looked upon. Yes, there was even prejudice against single people in the corporate structure. Managers, especially going back only 30, 40 years, managers were looked down upon if they were single. They're actually more respected if they were remarried. And these are the men, by the way, because most of the managers back in those days were men. We're still outgrowing that paradigm, by the way. So that's number 5 or 6, I think I've come up with. Let me see if I can recap those if I remember them. First one is, what did I have? Let's go backwards. So the first one was basically status, to look stable for the idea of a job or for being around the peer group. Second one is because they wanted to be left out, didn't want to be left out from their peer group. They want to get married for that. Another one was to get married to satisfy their parents, because there's some rule their parents had set on them. They had to get married. Of course, many of those have been divorced since then, because they got married for the wrong reasons. Actually, all of them. Another one was for safety and security. Another one was for sex and pleasure. Another one was to feel loved because they didn't. I sort of touched on this, but didn't cover it. But to be loved because they didn't feel like they loved themselves. And of course, none of you ever dealt with that, so they choose a relationship for that reason. Let me cut to the chase, because I've given you like a bunch of them. There's probably another dozen of those out there that you can come up with yourself, that you may have experienced or even done yourself in past, where you chose a relationship for less than ideal reasons. So let me just say it this way. My personal belief, and this is personal, so it may not match yours, of what I think the real reason for choosing a relationship is, it's going to sound so simple, is to grow. Okay, signing off on it. Done? Complete? No. Let me elaborate a little bit more. I believe that relationships is where your deepest work can happen. Your deepest growth, your deepest evolution, your deepest revealing of your own truth is. That if you choose a relationship for anything other than that, you may be playing a smaller game than you can play. There are many people I know, I've done it myself, where when the growth opportunity showed up, I'll put it in polite terms, versus the issue, the challenge, the opportunity, I would bail. Quit, leave, because I wasn't ready to do the work. So I know that for many of us, being in a relationship is the highest possibility for growth, for evolution, for becoming more than who we can be. Now, I'm not saying choose a relationship just for that sake, because you may choose a relationship badly that the other person won't do it. The ideal, the real reason for choosing a healthy relationship, healthy being a key word, is that both of you are whole in your own selves, and both of you are choosing to come together to grow beyond what you can do on your own. That's a high value choice to make in a relationship. And if you're both are choosing that, Of course, that's ideal, because if one choosing it, it's a real pain in the butt when the other one doesn't. But if you both choose that as your highest value for a relationship, you can have the most amazing relationship ever. The most amazing relationship ever. That simple. So I wanted to throw this out there because this is sort of undergirds and underwrites, but really is the foundation upon which my focus and my work is about. My work with my clients is really helping them become self-aware to the point where they really own and love who they are, so they can become a match for a partner out there that's doing the same, and they can have a healthy relationship. But for many people in the world, because I mean, there's maybe 1, 2, 5 people watching this broadcast, maybe more, I don't know. But the reality is that out in the world, out there are billions of people who don't understand this, who don't choose it for that reason. They get married for security, as I mentioned the other ones, the security for sex, to raise a family, to appease the parents, to have status in life. All these different reasons that people choose a relationship for out in the world that are secondary to what's possible. So this topic that I'm realizing is coming out now is about what makes an incredibly powerful relationship. This is some of that. Choosing a relationship where you both have the opportunity to grow. And if you are choosing that, I commend you and I support you, and if you're having challenges with that, I help you with that too. But I want to see about just bringing that to the table, because there's so much that, sorry, I'm seeing who's watching, sneaking the peek. What I really feel is that this is something that needs to be talked about more. Something that came up for me last night in a big way, and this is totally like revealing, bearing my soul in a way, is I had this vision of seeing the world in a very dark way. In the sense of I was seeing the world through a lens of, which some of the conspiracy theorists talk about, in a way I guess, is realizing that for generations, we regular folks have been the sheep herded by the people who lead. And I don't mean the government, I mean the people who lead. And it got depressing. I went down this dark hole inside, just sitting with that picture. And actually, in a way, it was a dark hole. But at the same time, I was going, I'm stepping free of that. And in some ways, what I'm talking about borders on revolution around relationship. Because what I'm bringing to the table is a way of waking up to people and seeing relationship as a place to grow. Because the thing what I'm about, as you probably know, is passionate about people being authentic, about being aware, about growing, about being positive, about being an influence in the world that is inspirational. And I'd like you to be doing the same thing, please. But I'm also aware that the world doesn't support that yet. There's a large group of people who are asleep at the wheel because it's being driven by somebody else who has an agenda that doesn't support the world, as you may have noticed. I'm not going to go down that path and that road of conspiracy and all that sort of stuff, but the feeling I had inside that came up from that was those of us who are awake are the ones that have hope. We bring the hope in a way. And I want to bring it into a more finite conversation about relationship because that's my focus. But I'm realizing it may propagate out into the world. I said a long time ago in a conversation with somebody, like, what's your big vision? I said, well, it's world peace through peace in relationships. Helping people have healthy relationships that are growth-oriented, that are inspirational, that are positive and loving. Because when people have loving relationships, there's less desire to cause trouble in the world. There's less desire to cause upset in the world. There's less desire to go to war. So this little focus I have about helping people have healthy relationships could bring world peace. How's that for a vision? Okay, I'm going off the deep end, but I want to just get that out there. So now it's out in the world on Facebook Live. It'll be on YouTube later on. And if you feel this should inspire somebody else who hasn't been watching this, please share it with them. And if you want to watch my other broadcast, this is number 113 of Messages from the Masculine, my daily broadcasts. There's a whole bunch of them out there, as in 112 before this, on my business page, on my YouTube channel, on the Barry Selby, also on my website under Barry Selby, on the video blog page. And I invite your questions. If you have any questions or want support in this area, please message me over social media, or if you have access to my email or phone number, reach out. I'm here to support you. This is my daily broadcast to inspire, provoke, and challenge you. And I hope you got some value out of this one. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, and I hope this has been of value to you. As always, I invite you to take care of yourselves first, because if you take care of yourself, you can take care of other people more easily. And with that, I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.